Go ahead and call the meeting to order. If you would, please rise. Chair recognizes Minister Lynn Money from Sherwood Church of Christ to lead us in our invocation.
Will you pray with me, please? Dear God, we thank you for your love, your mercy, and your grace. We are thankful for your bringing us all to Odessa, Texas, a city where we can all find our place of service. Thank you for your abundant blessings, for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. We thank you for the freedom to embrace you or to reject you. And even when we reject you, you love us anyway because of your endless mercy and grace. In your word, you tell us to obey the governing authorities because you have divinely established those governing authorities to promote peace, order, and justice. So I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for this assembled council. I'm asking you to graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and righteousness, confidence in what is good and fitting, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, and personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray for the agenda set before them today, that you would give them assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our beloved city of Odessa, Texas, through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Minister. Next, the pledges, Councilmember Bryant.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
You may be seated. Under the area of proclamations, awards, and presentations, we have Texas Scholar Debbie Lieb. If you would please come forward. We've got a proclamation that says City of Odessa Proclamation. Whereas the Texas Scholars Program is designed to encourage students to pursue a higher level of course study to be qualified for entering the workforce. And the Ector County Independent School District participates in this workforce development program, which helps students understand that good, well-paying jobs are awarded to those who have prepared themselves by obtaining a sound academic education. The students in this program volunteer for local nonprofit, religious, or charitable organizations. Volunteering develops a teamwork and communication skills, building network opportunities, and provides a sense of achievement. And the Odessa Chamber of Commerce, ECISD, businesses, and organizations sponsor Texas Scholars for our Leaders of Tomorrow. This academic year, 1,000 students were enrolled in Texas Scholars, completed 15,861 volunteer hours, and since the inception of the program back in 1997, there have been more than 133 volunteer hours contributed to the community. Now, therefore, I, David R. Turner, by the virtue of authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Odessa, do hereby proclaim May 14th, 2019, Texas Scholar Day. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We have families here with our students. As I call your name, would the students please come forward? I'll stand here in front of our esteemed City Council, and we'll take a group picture in just a moment. From New Tech Odessa, Amara Machaca Reyes volunteered 90 hours, and she is a freshman. And also from New Tech, Zara Corrales volunteered 160 hours, the most as a sophomore from New Tech. Clarissa Garcia, a junior, volunteered 124 hours, the most of her classmates. As a senior, Haley Zunt volunteered 310 hours this year. From OHS, our freshman is Isabella Velasquez, who volunteered 92 hours. Freshman Akash Angarkula, 118 hours. A junior, Angelica Carrillo, 152 hours. Senior, Natalie Benavides, 225 hours, and she is graduating with the most hours for her senior class with 736 cumulative hours. From Permian, freshman Swetha Kesavan has 178 hours. Freshman Bendika Patel, 249 hours. Junior Nidhi Patel, 188 hours. Senior Talaya Jones, 338 hours this year, with a cumulative 663 hours, her high school career. From Falcon, freshman Arlene Sanchez, 36 hours. Sophomore Eden Orhinta, 67 hours. Junior Wendy Hernandez, 166 hours. Senior Kiara Valengonzalo, 146 hours. And then Haley Laverne is the senior with the most cumulative hours of 383. From OC Tech's freshman, we have Brianna Anaya Carrasco with 46 hours. Freshman Corbin Cummings with 31 hours. Junior Hunter Boykin, 156 hours. And senior Michaela Welch with 125 hours this year, with the cumulative of 885 hours, for a total of more than 16,000 hours this academic year. Thank you, students, for investing in our community, and may this be a lifelong adventure and choice for you to invest in your community in which you live the rest of your life. Thank you so much. If you'll pause just a moment, we'll take a group picture.
Can we give them a round of applause? Back up here and take a
Parents, go ahead and take pictures. I know you're proud of them.
All those
Thank you
cameras
for your
coming.
parents for all that encouragement and support of these outstanding students.
There's never this many cameras when we're here.
I won't go into it.
Every parent has a picture. One more moment. Thank you for your patience. We appreciate you recognizing their outstanding service.
It's our pleasure. Congratulations.
Mayor, I'd like to also thank them as an educator. I want to tell you that what you do is appreciated. Most of these students who do Texas Scholars Hours are also working really, really hard in their classroom. So it's taking them the time to do the Texas Scholars, the volunteerism, as well as making good grades. And as an educator and as a council person, we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Football.
Give them a couple more minutes to get everybody out.
Motorcycle.
If I can get Martin McGee to come on up. Got a proclamation for Motorcycle and Safety Awareness Month. It says, whereas motorcycles are increasingly popular means for transportation, for commuting, touring, and recreational use on the roads. Motorcycles are virtually unprotected and therefore more injuries or death in a crash than other vehicles drivers. And a critical element in reducing injury and fatalities to motorcycles is education about motorcycle safety. And it is a responsibility of all who put themselves behind the wheel to become aware of motorcyclists, regarding them with the same respect as any other vehicle traveling down the highway of this country. And it is a responsibility of riders and motorcyclists alike to obey all traffic laws and safety rules. I urge all citizens in our community become aware of the inherent danger involved in operating a motorcycle, and for riders and motorists to give each other mutual respect that they deserve. Now, therefore, I, David R. Turner, by the virtue of authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Odessa, do hereby proclaim the month of May as Motorcycle and Safety Awareness Month. Congratulations.
I want to thank the mayor. It took one phone call for him to do this, and that was awesome. Thank my brothers for showing up. The thing is that everybody's in such a hurry around here to make that money that we need to slow down, think twice, look twice, save a life, because everybody in here knows somebody that rides. And we got to, make sure that you don't get that phone call. So just slow down a little bit, look twice, save a life, man. And thank y'all. Thank you, the city of Odessa and Mayor Turner. This is quick. Just one phone call, he got it done, and that's how great he is around here. So I appreciate it. Appreciate the council. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your leadership. He approached both cities, and both cities have actually put up signs saying, look out for motorcyclists. So he has really gone far above and beyond what anyone has just for this issue. So slow down and watch out for everybody.
Number 2. That's nice.
Okay, now we move to the consent agenda, and I believe there's one item.
I make a motion that we pull item K from the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to pull item K.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of pulling this item, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item is removed. We need a motion to approve the rest of the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The remaining is approved. Item K, consider allocation of funds for the support of the United States 2020 census of $50,000. Mr. Phillip.
Council, Mr. Mayor, on February 26th of this year, the council approved a resolution to support the United States 2020 census by creating a local complete count committee. This was in conjunction with Ector County. An accurate count of population aids in the distribution of state and federal funds for health, education, transportation, child and elder care, as well as emergency preparation and response. Approval of this agenda item will allow for $50,000 from excess sales tax from this budget year to be approved for the effort for the census, and the census is set to begin April 1st of 2020.
Okay, were there any questions from council? This is vital for Ector County and the city. We have to count everyone, and it's going to be a difficult process, but everyone that can volunteer to walk a block, or just make sure you tell all your neighbors, get counted. It's for state funding, road funding, all the funding that we get from the federal and state government is affected by this. And if we're undercounted, then that means us as the taxpayers have to pick up the difference. So, okay, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Other council actions. Consider approval of downtown infrastructure and facade grants. Mr. Carroll.
Good evening, Council, Mr. Mayor. Get my notes in order here. My name is Robert Carroll. For those of you who don't know me, I'm an assistant city attorney for the city. I've been asked to come up and present the infrastructure and facade grants that are currently in front of the council for approval. Before I start, Ms. Lambert is actually going to explain. We've made some changes over the past about 8 months to a year in the facade and infrastructure grant to sort of streamline what's happening, so it doesn't take as long to get everything, all these figured out and to get them in front of council.
He pretty much simply stated what I was going to say. Changes were made about a year ago. We looked at the grant program. One was efficiency, and two was making sure we were concentrating on the areas where we felt like things needed to grow. This was a directive that came from council down to ODC. There was a joint meeting that was held, and from that meeting, a committee was derived that consisted of a council member and 2 council members and 2 ODC members, and a consensus was come to on creating the tiered system and then also looking at restructuring the program and, again, its efficiency.
Council and Mr. Mayor, you will see in front of you a booklet that's been bound. This is just going to contain all the information for, we have infrastructure and facade grants here. We have 1 facade grant and 3 infrastructure grants. For those that don't know about the facade and infrastructure grant system, this was created to help revitalize businesses downtown. There was a tiered system created in the past year, I believe, that I will get into shortly. But to start with the infrastructure grant, the infrastructure grants are an amount of money that the city will give a business owner or a landowner to make sure that their buildings are up to code. It's no more than that. We have a code inspector go out, and in fact, on all 3 of these properties, we've had a building inspector go out and make sure that everything that they're asking for is to bring these buildings up to code. It's not to beautify the inside of the building. It's not just to move things around because they want them moved around. It's to make sure that these buildings are safe and that they won't eventually fail, and that the infrastructure is sound to hold a business or to keep the businesses there that are there. Ms. Lambert was there when these buildings were all inspected. The building inspector has not gotten us a written report back, but has verified, as has Ms. Lambert, that all these buildings, everything requested under these infrastructure grants today are all falling under building code. So it's nothing more than bringing them up to code. Again, nothing extra. The facade grant is a little different. The facade grant is obviously going to be to the outside of the building. In some cases, it's to beautify the building, again, to drive these business enterprises. No one wants to go into a building that they don't want to look at. If the infrastructure of the building looks great, but the outside of the building doesn't look like something you would want to walk into, that's not going to help drive business, especially in downtown Odessa. The infrastructure grants are 50-50 split, dollar for dollar. So if you could actually turn 1, 2. It'll be on the back. It'll look like this. This will be the tier structure we're talking about. So these tier structures are, the closer you are, tier 1 is 100%. So in the case of the infrastructures, we will give you 50% of what it would cost to fix the infrastructure of your building. Now, along with that in the tier structure is, if you fall within tier 1, we will give you 100% of that 50%. If you land in tier 2, that's 75% of the 50%. So you'll hear me say percentages tonight. That's what I'm referring to. And stop me if I need to explain or make an example. I know it's a little difficult. It was difficult for me to understand at first. The facade grants are a little different. They're an 80-20 split. we ask that the landowner or business owner put in 20%, and the city will pay for up to 80% of that. And again, if you're in Tier 1, you'll get the full 80% of that facade cost. If you're in Tier 2, you'll take 75% of that 80% that you could receive. Any questions so far? Okay. We can move right along then into the property. So the first property I'd like to present is going to be property owned by Gilbert Alanis and Catalina Nunez. That's going to be 116 North Texas Avenue. That's going to be the building behind the old Greyhound bus station, right off of 2nd Street. There are some pictures contained within there. This picture here, Council, is going to be the actual building. This is going to be in reference. This is going to be the station. It is not this building down here. It is the smaller building right behind it that we're talking about. They have applied for both facade and infrastructure grants. As far as the infrastructure grant goes, the total cost of that infrastructure redo is going to be $29,367. Because this property falls within Tier 3, the total grant they qualify for from the city is $7,341.75, because they're going to qualify for that 50% of the 50% we would normally give them. Moving on, we can move right over to that second red tab, and we can move right into the same property, but the facade grant. And remember, the facade grant is an 80-20 split. So in this case, the total cost of the facade would be $14,622. Because they fall into Tier 3, they would get the 50% of that 80%, which would come out to $5,848.80 that they would qualify for. Any questions so far? Do we want to go through and vote each one of these individually to approve them, I would assume, and then we can move on to the next property?
I do have one question. What, Mr. Collins, what was it? It wasn't the Greyhound station? What was it you said?
Trailways.
I saw your little smile back there. I had to ask you.
Just a question. I was looking at, this is going to be a restaurant, correct?
No, this is not going to be a restaurant. This would be
Offices?
office space.
Where's their parking?
There's some parking off to the side.
Oh, it is offside, okay.
Yes, sir. And some street parking as well.
Okay.
I move for approval.
Okay. We have a motion and second for approval. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
We'll move to that next yellow tab, Mayor and Council, and this is going to be an infrastructure grant request from Martinez Asset Management, Linda Martinez. So this is going to be 1400 East 7th Street. That's going to be at the corner of 7th and Hancock, just east of City Hall. So this is actually one building with 3 businesses in it. Those businesses are going to include A1 Cleaners, UnitedNeighborhood.org, which is an immigration services office, and an Income Tax USA and insurance company. The total for this project for the infrastructure is substantial, but it is the total is $73,501. And because they fall within Tier 3, they would receive the 50% of the 50% that they normally that they qualify for, which is $18,375.25.
Ms. Martinez is in the audience if you have any questions for her.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
And the final property we're going to take a look at tonight is going to be 112 West 5th Street. That is going to be Tawanda Corp., otherwise known as Proteus Salon. There are also other businesses. There are several apartments within this. There's also one office space currently housing an engineering firm. They are only asking for infrastructure as well, no facade right now. Their total is going to be $91,583.41. And that is just to redo the roof, but this is a 9,000 square foot roof we're talking about. So they fall within Tier 1, so they do qualify for the full 100% of the 50% that they would qualify for, bringing the total from us to $45,791.70. and I believe that
Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Softy are in the audience if you have questions for them.
Okay. Are there any questions from council?
I move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously.
thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. I like the tabs.
Yeah, makes it easier. Okay, next we move to miscellaneous. Ms. Grimaldo.
For the Housing Authority of Odessa, reappoint Adela Vasquez, Larry Milton, and Eddie Spivey.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next, we move to citizens' comments on non-agenda items. First is Ms. Armstrong. If you'd come forward, please, ma'am. And you'll have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, councilman. I'm Faye Armstrong. I reside at 415 Snyder Street. And I was concerned about at 422 Snyder Street, they have put up a fence, and then it looks like they're doing a business. And I think the young man, I don't even know his name, but his business is next door to the Stripes on Grant Street. This is a residential area. And this fence, you have to drive out so far until I can get killed or anybody. It is very dangerous. And I've been to the inspection. I went and talked to Mr. Hale, and I called Mr. Malcolm, but he met. And so I'm concerned for my family and everybody else that's coming through there. If you happen to have time, would you please drive through there going east, and please don't go in a truck, go in a car so that you can see what we're talking about. This is our family, this is our friends, this is everybody, and it's very dangerous.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
I'll give this city manager so he can get the appropriate people to go out and look at it.
Yes, I talked to the inspector, but he keep telling me that okay.
Are you speaking about at the corner right there of Dixie and
Snyder?
And Snyder? Is
Yes,
that
sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've actually sent that information to the city manager before in the past with the dirt that's
Yes.
right there with the metal fence.
But
Yes, ma'am.
the stop sign is too far back for
Right.
you to come out and be.
So you gotta-
And that is a busy street.
Right.
And I've almost had several calls myself, and it's just bad.
Yes, ma'am.
In our neighborhood, we should do a little better. Then we need some help with that.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Question real quick. Phone number? 3, I couldn't read the last 2 numbers.
Okay, 544. It's
What's her phone number?
5944?
yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
No, I'm just,
but that's it.
Okay.
Oh, one other place.
yes, ma'am.
The Zodiac. When you come out going east, I was told that it's Grandfather Street. That street is a death trap also. When you're going east, you cannot see this way. When you coming going south, you got someone easing out, and I've had plenty wrecks there. It would be nice if you could close that where you could just go in west, just close the east.
You talking about the road behind
On
where
the side
the
of
old
Zodiac.
restaurant used to be behind that road
No,
right
they
over
could
there?
go around and go to the light, and they could make a left.
Right. Yes,
what do
ma'am.
we have it for? We
I
don't
understand.
use it for that. But those are the 2 things that I was concerned about because they're dangerous. Very, very dangerous.
I'll put the Zodiac on the card too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Craig Stoker. Wishes to comment on the intersection at 17th and Washington.
Well, I'm sticking to the theme tonight, road safety. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I am in the process, and in the next few weeks should be closed on a new home that I am purchasing. I am happy to become a first-time home buyer, but I am moving from a guest house into a main house, and I have had concerns. I've been there since about 2011. In that time that I know of, on 17th, there have been about 5 accidents. One has taken out a neighbor's fence. One, a few weeks ago, wound up with a truck in the neighbor's yard. And the one that happened to me that came into my house wound up with a fatality. The gentleman died. So my concern is with the cut through of 17th. In the process of buying this house, I found out that at one time, these streets used to be one way. And so either that helped with traffic flow or didn't. 17th, in my case, ran towards Grant from Golder. I would like to figure out, how do we study it? How do we look at 17th and Washington and perhaps get a four-way stop? There is a four-way stop at 17th and Sam Houston. 17th and Washington is just two-way. And the majority of the accidents that I've witnessed have been at that intersection. Even something between Grant and Golder. And something is going on. Somebody is watching, because at 17th and Golder now there is one of those radar signs that says speed limit 30, slow down, you're going way too fast. So even a light perhaps at 17th and Golder. But I don't know where to go to start, so I will start with you all. And I appreciate any help and guidance you can give me. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Stoker. Okay, that completes the agenda, so I will entertain a motion to dismiss.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.